For my lesson plan, I've decided to go with a cohesive 90-minute double period where students transform a blank timber template into a completed custom profiled chopping board. This lesson plan is targeted toward Year 9 or 10 design and technology students and materials and technology students. The reason for this is that they aren't workshop rookies anymore due to their junior year's experience, meaning we can leverage their existing baseline skills. I also chose to target this year group as they are in a stage of choosing whether they shift their learning to a vocational pathway, in which this may help them in the future. The beginning of this lesson sequence starts with a diagnostic assessment which takes place as a class discussion. The purpose for this is to gain an understanding of students' prior knowledge with woodwork. This is built on constructivist principles of previous understanding to help shift the students from what they may already know to what they're about to learn. Additionally, the purpose of this diagnostic assessment is to check for capabilities among the students and their familiarity with woodwork. This can help the teachers assess whether the class needs to be structured differently to accommodate for the general skill set of the class. This is ensuring that the task at hand is within the student's zone of proximal development. After the group discussion takes place, the class will shift into a demonstration presentation provided by the teacher through a worked example. The process of this sequence is based on Fisher and Frey's I do, we do, you do framework of gradual releases of responsibility. The classroom will be guided on the necessary steps of workshop safety rules, tool use, and activity instructions. The purpose of breaking down the activity and providing explicit instructions is based on Kirshner's cognitive load theory. The human working memory is inherently limited when processing new or complex material, in which we are aiming to avoid overloading the students, especially as they are completing a high-risk activity. This helps scaffolds the initial stage of the activity to then release the students to their own task following the provided instruction. Once the students are released, the teacher will shift into a supervisory role to help manage the classroom and guide them. This is a proactive, evidence-based classroom management strategy that involves purposely moving throughout the learning space, visually scanning the room, and continuously interacting with students based on Archer and Hughes' explicit instruction framework. This process is also a formative assessment to assess the students and how they're using the tools and to provide feedback to them, aligning with the Victorian Department of Education high-impact teaching strategies. Once all the students have carved out their piece, they will be requested to come back for a second round of explicit instructions regarding sandpaper. The purpose of chunking their process is again aligned with cognitive load theory and reducing the risk of overloading them with information, along with streamlining the class to move through the activity as one. Once they've been briefed and instructed on the different grit sizing and its purpose, they will again be released to follow suit and continue on their project. The purpose of continually bringing them back for instruction is based on Bloom's taxonomy on learning, to help build on their prior knowledge and building their skill set, and also allowing students to accurately understand the task at hand. Again, as they follow through this activity, the teacher will shift back into the supervisory role and complete a formative assessment on how the students follow through with their instructions, providing feedback and managing the class. Once the sanding blocks are down and they've completed this section, the teacher will then run another formative assessment check across the room, physically feeling the surfaces of their chopping boards to confirm everyone has successfully eliminated their cross-grain scratchings before they can officially pass this stage. The teacher will then transition the entire cohort over to the machinery zone for a coordinated drilling phase, managing the class into a one-on-one instruction of how to use the drill press. Creating a one-on-one instruction space allows me to scaffold the machine handling and reduce safety risk. Once the class has done this final stage of their activity, they will be shifted into a summative assessment. They will be asked to bring their finished product to the presentation bench again and compare them to their peers' product along with an example product. This kind of summative assessment allows them to showcase their work collectively against a clear standard, and the evaluation process stays completely transparent, fair, and accessible, letting the kids see exactly how their sawing process and finishing process has aligned with the curriculum goals. The lesson will then be wrapped up by praising the class for their focus, problem solving, and workshop grit, helping to strengthen student-teacher relationships. Before they head out the door, students will then complete a spoken exit ticket assessment, answering a metacognitive question. The question may include, what can you tell me about the grit sizings on the sandpaper and what is their purpose? This final step acts as an annotated work sample, forcing them to turn their physical experiences into a conscious technical knowledge before leaving the room.